Good morning. My name is Don Michaelman, and I want to welcome you to the March 12th, 2026 meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. If you could check your cell phones and see if they're turned off or on mute, would appreciate that on there. Would like to welcome Councilmember Gehring to the meeting.
I do.
I hope you have a fun time. I'd like to have the members of the commissions introduce themselves and start with Jim.
Good morning, Jim Klazuski.
Good morning, Tom Hutchison.
Tom Riley.
Good morning, Tom Davis.
Good morning, Susan Graham.
Good morning, James Whiting.
The first item on the, read through my notes here. This is a open public hearing and is being videotaped by the city. The proceedings are being televised by representatives of the public media, the public local cable and/or radio stations, and may be also rebroadcast. The number of commissioners present is 7. It will require a majority of those present to pass a motion. Members of the public, when called upon, are required to state their name and address for the record so that we may know who is speaking and be able to contact them at a later date if necessary on that. First item on the agenda is the review of the minutes from the February 26th Planning and Zoning Commission. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
I have some comments. One comment.
Okay, Tom.
I found it very useful to engage in dialogue at the last meeting. There was no win-lose. It was an opportunity to think together, and I think that's how you get the best answer. So I applaud that opportunity.
Okay. Any other corrections?
Mr. Chairman,
Tom?
Tom Riley, move to approve the minutes as presented.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second to the motion?
Susan Graham, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, Jacob, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Davis,
Approve.
Commissioner Whiting,
I was absent, so I will abstain.
Commissioner Graham,
Approve.
Commissioner Klazuski,
Approve.
Commissioner Hutchison,
Approve.
Vice Chair Riley,
Approve.
Chair Michaelman.
Approve. Next item on the agenda is CSP 26-00, a proposed comprehensive sign plan for the addition of a new 4 by 6 foot freestanding directional sign within the common area of Ponderosa Professional Plaza, location along 12th Place at 919 12th Place, APN 800-98-002U, property owner, real estate 12th Place, applicant Morgan Sign Company. Jacob.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners. Jacob Lund, Community Planner. Today I'll be presenting Comprehensive Sign Plan number 26-001 at 919 12th Place. This is a photo showing the complex that the sign's going to be located. As you can see, there's 12th Place meeting with Willow Creek Road. This is just north of the Safeway Shopping Center along Willow Creek. This is the site plan provided by the applicant. So the sign is going to be located in this area that says sign location. And it's going to be put into an existing landscaped area and will meet the 5-foot side setback for the property lines. Overview of the property. So there was a new monument sign that was approved and installed around October of 2025. That sign was 8 feet in height for a total of 30 square feet and was right around the maximum allowed freestanding signage for the entire complex. So with this, the applicant is proposing an additional freestanding directional sign of 6 feet in height for a total of 24 square feet. This was the existing monument sign that was approved in October. So this is right at the entrance along 12th Place to the complex. And this is the proposed sign. As you can see, the landscaped area is already existing. It will be 6 feet in height by 4 feet wide. And there's about, it looks like 13 different offices or suites in this area. So this will be a directional sign to point you where each different location is at. This is some information on what the sign's going to look like. This gives you the measurements, 6 foot in height. It'll have a footing so it's solidly in the ground, and then 4 foot in width. And it looks like there is room for additional advertising for other businesses on there. And that brings us to the motion. Move to recommend approval or to deny CSP 26-001. And that concludes my presentation. We do have the applicants here if you have questions for them as well.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Any questions for Jacob?
Yeah, Jacob, I couldn't tell if there was any issues with clear view, traffic clear view.
Based on what was provided, it's hard to tell. I don't think it would create an issue, but that could be something we can look at the permitting submittal as well, see if there's a better location for it.
Any other questions for Jacob?
Mr. Chairman, Tom Davis, I frequent that center. I go to the dentist there, okay? So based on the location of the sign that I've seen going there, it doesn't appear to be a obstruction issue. So I don't see a problem with that.
Jim?
Mr. Chairman, just the question I have is I assume the need for the extra sign is because of additional tenants?
Yeah, I would defer to the applicant for that. I know originally for their sign permit in October, this was on their proposal, and we had told them they needed a comprehensive sign plan at that point because our code only allows directional signs up to 2 square feet to be done without permitting. So at that time, they didn't want to do the comprehensive sign plan, and now I feel like more businesses want to advertise, but I will defer to the applicant to answer that question.
If no other questions for Jacob, would the applicant like to step up?
Yes, I'm Robert Markoff with Morgan Sign. Address is 704 East Moeller Street. And the main purpose of the directional sign is to help people find their way to the different businesses. And it kind of felt like it was in this loophole area of that even though all the businesses there, it's considered one complex, and that was the maximum square footage we could allow. And with all those, we couldn't fit all the information on a 2x3 directional sign. So that's the main reason for it.
Other questions for the applicant? Yeah.
And this may be directed to Jacob. As I understand it, part of what the issue is here is this size of this sign now, coupled with the other one, exceeds the normal allowed square footage of sign for a property?
Yeah, so there's a couple potential issues. One is per our code, you're only allowed 1 freestanding sign per street frontage. So one of the issues with this sign is it's not located at a street frontage, and it's an additional freestanding sign to where our code reads you're only allowed 1. So the previous sign did max out their allowance for signage for their freestanding sign. So in addition to this being a second freestanding sign, they are asking for more signage.
So is this considered a variance?
Not necessarily. A variance would be if this was for one business. Since there's going to be multiple businesses advertised, that's kind of what our comprehensive sign plan is meant for. It's meant for multi-tenant, which we feel like this sign meets that purpose.
Thank you.
I have one note I'd like to make. My only concern is that hopefully we're not going to set precedent for other properties.
Other questions? I have one, sir. When I went out there to look at this, I noticed where the sign is proposed to be, there's parking between that sign and the street, 12th Place. And it appears that those cars could conceivably cover up the bottom part of the sign. And so you wouldn't be able to see the directions till you actually pulled up to the sign.
I believe the parking spot is right along that bottom end of that curb there, which I know would be blocking some of the view, but it is a driveway already. It's not a street. So you'd be driving at a very slow rate and then be able to.
And when I was there, and then maybe Tom can attest to it, when you get up to that point, you sort of have to ease out to see if there's any traffic coming down the parking lot too, because there's parking right adjacent to the right of that sign in the picture there. Did you notice that when you?
Yeah, I agree. I think you have a good point, but also I considered when I looked at this is that if you put that information on the existing sign at the front of the street, you've got a stacking and curiosity problem.
Yeah.
Getting the people off, just into the complex, and then seeing a directional sign, I think is more safer and more advantageous, in my opinion. Could there be a more visible, better location? I don't know, but I mean, there's a very good point that there will be some obstruction to the bottom part of the sign in some way, but I don't see a better place for it.
I know we were trying to utilize what was there instead of like maybe taking up another parking spot to make, you'd have to make another easement or something like that to try to move it too, so.
Now, are there only 13 tenants out there?
Yes, there's only.
Okay. And if you move that across the lane, if I remember right, that doesn't make it too visible over there, does it? If you move right across.
There's a big, I don't know, planter wall, brick wall that divides because one side's an entrance and the other side's the exit. So yeah, the directional sign would be just to the right side of this planter, but at the very end.
Conceptually, I really don't have a challenge with having a directional sign. I'm just looking at it saying, is how much of a benefit will it provide when you have parking up in that first part of it there too. Now, there may not be parking all the time because when I was out there, there was only like 2 cars. But one of them was parked where I'm going, looks like you could block part of that signage on that too. So, any other questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir, on that.
Mr. Chairman, Tom Riley, I got to tell you, this place has suffered from signage and control since its inception. I remember this is going back, 35 years ago or so, but this place has always had the small signs over the offices themselves, and it makes it difficult to see that when you first pull in. So we've had people, I've done some work in that area, people would drive up and down the parking lots looking for the particular office that they were looking for back and forth, and that was a pain. That was a real problem back there with people trying to back out and what have you. And being a medical facility primarily, a lot of medical stuff in there, I think that you're going to get people my age in there who don't drive very well. So I think that this sign may not be perfect, but it is going to be great for people for wayfinding when they get into this 12th Place area. And like I said, this 12th Place has struggled with this signage and identification since its inception. So I, for one, think this is a good idea.
One more comment, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman. Jim Klasuski. Are there nameplates on both sides of the sign or just on the site we're looking at?
Just on the side, one side, single-sided.
Is there a motion concerning the applicant?
Mr. Chairman,
Tom?
I move to recommend approval of CSP 26-001.
We have a motion. Is there a second to the motion?
Jim Klazuski, I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Jacob?
Commissioner Davis,
Approve.
Commissioner Whiting,
Approve.
Commissioner Graham,
Approve.
Commissioner Klazuski,
Approve.
Commissioner Hutchison,
I approve.
Vice Chair Riley,
Approve.
Chair Michaelman.
Approve. Thank you for attending. Next on the agenda is LDC 26-001, amendment to the City of Prescott Land Development Code Appendices by replacing the former Planning and Zoning Commission bylaws with a newly amended Planning and Zoning Commission bylaws. Applicant is the City of Prescott Planning and Zoning Commission. Hi, Commission.
Hi.
Tammy, you're up.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman, Vice Chairman, members of the Commission. Tammy DeWitt, Community Planner. So we do have an amendment before you to our Land Development Code to update our Planning and Zoning Commission bylaws. The City Clerk's Office reviewed all the BBC boards and commissions bylaws to make sure they're consistent. Some of them at different deadlines or time frames of when they're newly appointed and whether there are some other issues. So this is us cleaning it up to make sure they're all consistent. So the first thing that was approved with the City Council in the city charter, not the charter, I'm sorry. Thank you. The city code, actually. So the city council approved an amendment to the city code to for what the Planning and Zoning Commission, kind of the bylaws there. So this is, then part of that was that we had to update our bylaws in the Land Development Code. So this is the first thing that was changed. Really, I think the only thing that was changed was that instead of the city council shall appoint a chairman and vice chairman in March of each year and shall prescribe their duties as in its discretion seem required, it was changed to at the first meeting following April 1st of each calendar year, the commission shall select from its membership a chair and vice chair. So this is a little different. Usually it was the council that approved it, but now it's going to be you guys every year are going to have an election or whoever's left and to appoint the chair and vice chair. And then the second item that to be deleted when we were looking through the bylaws was that this was brought up a few years ago. So we wanted to make sure we were consistent with all the other bylaws that we have for our BBCs, that if an item is being considered by the commission for the first time, it shall not be voted upon at the initial meeting if there is an objection to a vote by one commission member. So this is not in any of our other bylaws, so my recommendation is to delete it to make sure that all our other bylaws are consistent. Are there any questions about this?
Questions? Tom?
Yeah, Tammy, I think I recall, when we were doing the AED, Save the Dells annexation thing, there was a feeling that the city attorney, the city manager, and the mayor were disallowing input into that process. And I think that feeling led to me personally invoking this article and insisting that there be more transparency. And I think as a result of that, our current mayor, Kathy, got invited into the tent and was part of that negotiation. So to eliminate this, essentially eliminates that last stopgap citizen-driven measure. It's a way to stop the system, stop the train, and say let's rethink this. Let's look at some incremental data. And I remember at the time,
Well, actually, nobody knew that was in there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until that was evoked that we realized that was in there. But we did also look at our other bylaws, and this is not in any other of our board or commissions to allow for one person, one member to stop an application moving forward.
Well, that's probably true, but all I'm saying is that this is an opportunity to stop the train if necessary or if deemed necessary and more information is required.
You know, I understand the idea of stopping the train, but, you know, one person stopping the train, no. I mean, I think that our government, all through all levels of government, vetoocracy is something that is a real pain in the butt. And I think that to have one person having the capability of being able to derail the train as opposed to stop it, I find that just objectionable. And so I think that removal of this is quite appropriate.
As you know, I disagree. We're not stopping the train, we're postponing it with this. Basically, it says the first meeting, you disallow, somebody can disallow a vote. That's not stopping it, it's postponing it for more definitive information.
Jim?
I have a question. So if this is eliminated and you're in the first meeting and you do not want to have a final vote and push it to another meeting to get more information, I assume that would be handled through a vote of all members, wouldn't it?
Correct.
So you still could delay or derail the train if necessary. It's just it's not one person.
Any other comment?
Okay.
Okay. Is there a motion concerning this application?
She would open it to the vast amount of public that's here to comment on this.
Elaine, do you want to take anything?
I'm good, thanks though.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Tom?
I make a motion to approve LDC 25-001 with changes. No, without changes.
Okay.
Without change. I say these are changes. Got it. Okay. Misread it. Sorry.
We have a motion. Is there a second to the motion?
Mr. Chairman, Tom Davis, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Jacob?
Commissioner Davis,
Approve.
Commissioner Whiting,
Approve.
Commissioner Graham,
Approve.
Commissioner Klazuski,
Approve.
Commissioner Hutchison,
I'll approve.
Vice Chair Riley,
Approve.
Chair Michaelman.
Approve. Last thing on the agenda is discussion and update regarding the approval of primary plat PLN 25-001 Deep Well Ranch, South Ranch South. Alex?
I'd like to point out that I did not come up with their name. Do you want me to pull it up? It's in your packets, but do we want to screen visual?
I mean, if I understand it, the whole purpose of this, Mr. Chairman, is that the council, mayor and council would like the idea of, since a public hearing is not required for this, they simply want this out there in the public so that at least there can be some sense of the illusion of transparency.
Mm-hmm. Can you pull up the map?
I sure can, yes.
Do you have a map that shows where it's situated? We have diagrams of each, of what the plots and so forth look like, but where it's located on Deep Well Ranch.
Yes, I can pull that up too.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the map real quick, or the actual plat. So here's a bigger picture, just overview. Here's Pioneer Parkway, and I'll pull it up again in a second. And then Willow Creek Road is right here, and Jenna Lane comes in this way. So on a map, here's Pioneer Parkway and Willow Creek Road, and then this is Jenna Lane, so it's going to be in this area right here. Oh. Is that helpful enough context in terms of placement of where we are? I can zoom out. Hang on. Here we go. So this is where we are in Depot Ranch. And this is about 74 acres and a little over 200 lots themselves for single family. Here again is Willow Creek Road right here, and then Pioneer Parkway is on the south. This went through multiple rounds of review with all city staff, the fire department, the airport, engineering, planning, etc. And so it has been approved. It met all of the city requirements. And now, as you all know, with our new statute, we review it administratively. And so this is the preliminary plat that we've approved, and we're bringing it here before you so folks can know. Do you all have any questions or?
Alex, could you show us where that plat is in relationship to the active runways at the airport?
I can.
And I'll add to that, are they outside of the recommended FAA 5,000-foot safety zone?
I know that they have worked with the airport very closely, and they've realigned their design to make it so that the main road itself is kind of in the main flight path, in line with the runway. And here's the airport right here. I can change the background if that's more helpful. So here's the runway, here's where it's going, and they've aligned that main center road in line with the runway. In collaboration with the airport. So the airport reviewed all this and has signed off.
And we also have the potentiality of that runway moving more toward the northeast down the road if we get the expansion of the runway.
Right, yes.
So can you point to where this is at on that map?
This is right here.
So, boy, it sure looks like it's at the end of the runway.
Yeah, with the Depot Ranch, this is part of their entitlements that they have in the airport area. And so that's why they did work with the airport to ensure that their main road was in line with the runway. And then that's what the airport ended up being okay with.
So other than the main road being in alignment with it, can we assume there's no habitable buildings that are within that restricted area?
Whatever the airport was comfortable with approving, yes. And I have a phone a friend here telling me they're exempt from the AVO.
I sure wouldn't want to buy a house there.
Hopefully they recognize there's an airport nearby.
I think in the sales of a home over there, they have documents that they're supposed to sign stating that they're aware that the airport is there.
They do have agreements, yes.
Yes.
And those agreements are usually buried in the 75,000 pages that you need to sign at the closing of a house. So one of those 8.5 by 11s come out and you sign it. You don't know what the hell you're signing.
Legal question. If we reasonable, prudent people foresee a possible tragedy of a airplane falling out of the sky, which happens not often, but regularly. Does the city set itself up for even though you've got all this paperwork that says, yeah, you knew there was an airport there and blah, 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 is there an implied liability problem embedded in this?
Implied, I would say no, except for the fact that if it was inside of one of those impact zones where the FAA says that there cannot be any residents, and my understanding is that this was looked at by the airport and indicated that it is outside of that impact zone, and because of that, then there wouldn't be that liability. Now, they have taken other steps to make sure that people are informed, those who are buying residence there, but since it's outside of the impact zone, it wouldn't be a problem.
It's not to say you couldn't have a civil suit. I mean, you know, I could sue you because I don't like the color of your socks. I'd probably get thrown out, but
I mean, that's true. That's not to say that somebody can't bring a lawsuit, but just to the question as to if we're opening ourselves up to liability just because there's a residence there, I would say no.
And again, this is just for a review. So, anything else on this matter? If not, before we adjourn, this is going to be the last meeting for 3 of our commission members, Tom Riley, Susan Graham, and Jim Kozinski. This commission is not one that you just show up for a meeting. You know, the commission members prepare for these meetings. This be reviewing the applications, and many times be going out to the site and seeing what the site looks like if it's need be. And I want to compliment our 3 members who are departing for their time, their effort, and their due diligence in what they have put forth while being a member of this commission. Does anybody else want to make a comment?
I would like to. I'd like to say that it was my pleasure to serve with everybody on this board in the city. I enjoyed my 3 years, and I hope that I contributed something meaningful.
Anything else, Tom?
yeah, I would like to say I enjoyed working with my colleagues for the most part, except maybe Tom on occasion. But one of the things that I'm going to miss the most about this, I'm not going to miss a lot of it, but the thing that I'm going to miss the most is working with staff. And I just wanted to say that I think that this staff in the city, I have been involved with the city now since the early 90s, the late 80s. And I think that the community development staff has always been, and legal staff, have always been incredibly professional. And I think that the current staff is standing up to the same quality that I have seen in the past staffs. And I'll say, you guys are top drawer, top notch. I enjoy working with you. And I hope that future commissioners defer to your guys' expertise, just like some of these folks have done. But it's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you.
Susan?
I want to say thank you for this opportunity. I've had a wonderful time serving on the commission. I have learned a lot, and I have really appreciated the opportunity to do this. And it's been great serving with all of you. It's a great group of guys, and I thoroughly have enjoyed it.
Again, thank you all, and good luck in the future there. Meeting is adjourned.